As a service member, your oath is to the Constitution, not to any person or party. This commitment is the foundation of our armed forces and shapes every mission, including those on American soil. When you see Marines deployed in a city like Los Angeles, it's natural to question if a line has been crossed. These questions reflect your dedication to the principles you serve to protect. The founders were wary of using the military against citizens, so our laws draw a clear line between military and civilian roles. Seeing troops in a domestic setting can feel unsettling, but understanding the legal boundaries is essential. Knowing the rules is a core responsibility of a professional military force. Your vigilance ensures the military remains a respected instrument of defense, not domestic control. This discussion will clarify the laws and authorities behind the Los Angeles deployment. We'll examine what the Marines were tasked to do, what they actually did, and why it was legal. By exploring this framework, we reinforce our commitment to the Constitution. Understanding these boundaries honors our service and our oath. This is how we uphold the Constitution we swore to defend. The Posse Comitatus Act is the cornerstone of civil-military relations in America. Passed in 1878, it generally prohibits the Army and Air Force from enforcing civilian laws. Department of Defense policy extends these restrictions to the Navy and Marine Corps. This means military personnel can't make arrests or conduct searches among civilians. There are exceptions, like the Insurrection Act or support for counter-drug operations, but these are rare and specific. The act doesn't ban all military activity on U.S. soil, it targets law enforcement actions. The military can protect its own property and provide support to civilian agencies when authorized. The key is that the military cannot become a police force. This legal framework shaped the Los Angeles mission. The Marines' deployment to Los Angeles was under Defense Support of Civil Authorities, or DSCA. DSCA allows the military to assist civilian governments during emergencies, but not to enforce civilian laws. In this case, the Marines' mission was clear: provide security for a federal building. They were not patrolling streets or making arrests, they were protecting federal property and personnel. This falls within the military's authority to defend its own and other federal assets. The legal authority came from the President and Secretary of Defense. By focusing on security, not law enforcement, the Marines stayed within legal boundaries. Their presence allowed civilian police to focus on their primary duties elsewhere. During the deployment, a trespasser was detained by the Marines. This wasn't an arrest for a civilian crime, it was a defensive action under strict rules of engagement. The Marines' job was to neutralize threats to the federal building, not enforce city laws. Detaining someone who breached security is a protective measure, not law enforcement. Once the situation was under control, the individual was handed over to civilian authorities. The Marines didn't investigate or press charges. This distinction, detention for security, not arrest for law enforcement, is crucial. Their actions stayed within the law and respected the Posse Comitatus Act. The legality of the Los Angeles deployment hinges on the difference between protection and enforcement. The Marines guarded a federal building. They didn't patrol the city or enforce civilian laws. If they had set up checkpoints or detained protesters, that would have crossed the legal line. Protection is about defending a specific asset. Enforcement targets the general population. The Marines' mission was limited and supportive, not primary or general. This distinction is fundamental to American democracy. Mixing military and police roles erodes public trust. The Los Angeles mission kept these roles separate. Marines protected property, police enforced the law. Understanding the legal basis for domestic deployments is essential for every service member. It's about knowing the ethical and constitutional limits of your authority. Public trust depends on the military defending the nation, not policing its citizens. When missions stay within legal boundaries, trust is reinforced. Overstepping those boundaries would damage the military's relationship with the public. The difference between protection and enforcement is the ethical core of this issue. Upholding the Posse Comitatus Act protects both the public and service members. Honoring these limits reflects our commitment to the rule of law. By respecting these boundaries, you uphold your oath and the principles of democracy. Vigilance and understanding are the marks of a professional, trusted force.